Well, hello. It is Wednesday, and I went to see the doctor today. So, here's kind of what I learned. For the most part, my scores were pretty good. He said that my metabolic rates and all those things were in good. My cholesterol was in a good place. Even my blood pressure was in a good place, which is great. I was a little concerned about the metabolics and he did do a thyroid test, and he said there was nothing wrong with my thyroid. So in other words, it just means it's a complication probably related to my sleep disorder, my weight issue, or just I need to shut my fat mouth and stop eating so much, which is probably the closer one I need to do. So here's where the rub comes in, as we say in the theater. So there's this thing called A1C, which I admittedly know very little about. I know some about it because my roommate is classified as diabetic. And apparently now I am in that early class of diabetic as well. Diabetic is just diabetic after a certain point. There is apparently a thing that's called pre-diabetic, which is when you're from 5.7 to 6.5, you're in what they call the pre-diabetic range. And then once you hit 6.5 to 7 or 6.5 and on, you're considered to be in the diabetic range. Well, I'm in the diabetic range, but I'm not showing the symptoms in the same way per se yet. So I was rated at 7.2, just to be completely forthright with the record. I was 7.2, which means that I am in that diabetic range. And the doctor offered me options, because obviously it's my life and it's my choice. He said, we can put you on something called metformin, which a lot of people take who have diabetes, or you can try to change your lifestyle, which is necessary anyway. And we can test your A1C again, which is also called your estimated average glucose, in about 3 months, which would mean early April. Late March, I'll do blood work, and then April, I'll meet with him, and he'll give me his evaluation of the numbers. But it's time for a change. It's just been too much. My whole life, I've had these problems. I followed a pattern of a lifestyle, and it's just waiting to cause me issues, just like a lot of people. So A1C, having diabetes can affect you, give you cardiac problems, what they called, I think it was CHF, cardiac heart failure. It can lead to cardiac heart failure. There's just a number of things. Obviously, it can affect your sight. One of the most predominant or dominant causes of blindness now is diabetic retinopathy. It's not the most dominant, but it is a very prevalent and very present issue in society now. And it also can cause glaucoma, which is another issue related to your eyes. So the bottom line is, it's time for a change. It's time to stop letting value and joy come from eating foods that really don't have any value, but just tear you apart. It's time to start living. There's my puppy right there. What you doing, son? What you doing, baby? Come here, baby. Want to say hi? Want to say hi? What's on this? It's Simba right there. And there's my bear. Hello, bear. They're such good boys. So that is what I've learned today. Also, my roommate and I I went and looked at another apartment. It's really interesting about the way, and I've talked with this about a number of people, and I'm sure you've noticed this in your own life. that there is sorry, roommate's doing something in the other room. Anyways, what was it? Lost my train of thought. That a lot of people, okay, let me stop, Kingsley. I'm off the cuff here, seeing it all natural. You're really thirsty, huh, buddy? Are you really thirsty? He's really thirsty. So, have you ever gone and looked at an apartment and they say, oh, well, it's this many square feet. And you look at it and you go, wow, this feels bigger. Or, wow, this thing feels really small for what you say the square footage is. Well, I went to one of those apartments today, which was on the latter side of that, which means that it said it was 1,370 square feet. It felt smaller than that. It felt like there were these obstacles in it. And now every time I look at an apartment, because I live with a roommate and she has, total blindness for the most part. Some, hand motion and light motion, but very vague. I start paying attention to things like what's in the apartment, if there's obstructions, potential hazard, obstacles in the way. And this thing had like a mantle right by the patio door that was sticking out. You could trip over the mantle or run head first into it because it's like her head height. The bar for the kitchen, which was so small, it probably wasn't more than like 5, or no, it was probably more like maybe 8 square feet. It was that small, like 2x4. It was super tiny. Maybe it'd be a little, excessive. Maybe it was 5 by 10, 5 by 5. It was like 25 square feet, but it was so small. There was no way 2 people could move around in it. It was odd shaped and everything like that. So anyways, it was 1,370, but it didn't feel it. Whereas my mom and my brother have an apartment that's like 1,160 or 170 square feet, 76 square feet, and it feels bigger. And it has like a garage and a backyard attached to it, all that stuff. So really feel out apartments. Don't just listen. And I was in an apartment that was 1082 last week that we were invited to take a look at, that someone lives in. And that apartment felt bigger than the 1370 that I looked at that had 3 bedrooms. It's just how you use the space is so important. So even though you hear these big numbers, 1370 for this much money versus this much more money for a smaller apartment, consider how they use the space. If you can, get in and look at it. It's so prevalent now that you can't even get in and look at an apartment. But try, if you can, to see a model of it or something like it, or just see how they use the space in the way the buildings are designed. It makes a huge impact. Anyways, we did get approved for one that we really were looking at that's more expensive, but that's definitely a nicer one, and we're looking forward to it. So we're going to be moving in the next couple of months, so stay tuned for videos on that. But that's it for today. Hope you guys have a great and blessed evening. Stay safe. Take care of your health. I'm learning, along with everybody else and the people I know already who have diabetes, that you've got to change your lifestyle. Stop worrying about how good things, food can bring you joy, but it can also bring you nightmares, health nightmares that you have to deal with for the rest of the time you're in this body. And then beyond that, you don't have to worry about it, but you still have to live in this until your time comes. Everybody have a great night and be blessed.